Hello, world, and welcome to Creating Light with Kelsey. In this episode, we're going to be talking about what art therapy is, because that is the number one question I get when I tell people I'm an art therapist. The first the first bodily reaction, body language. You know what I'm trying to say. You feel me. You understand that the first thing that happens there through the body is like a confused look and a little head tilt and hi, did you speak a different language, because I don't know what you're saying. And then it is, oh well, what is that? So I have like very various elevator speeches of explaining what it is, and I just know for the rest of my life until I die I will probably have to be I get to explain what it is, because frankly it's an amazing healing profession. Okay, so what I'll be covering in this short little episode will be what art therapy is, the educational training required in order to become an art therapist, one of the main struggles that art therapists face, and what to expect in an art therapy session. What is art therapy? Well, it is a specialty within the field of psychology that is a hybrid of using traditional counseling with expressive art making, which creates its own profession. That is the most simplest way I can explain it for you. It is not just a modality that a therapist can occasionally use in session that is just like a talk therapist and where they just randomly decide to use art sometimes. That's not art therapy. That's more so using it as creative expression or therapeutic, but it's not just straight up art therapy, because it is way more complex than just doodling in session every now and then to make yourself feel better. Just like there are marriage and family counselors and child psychologists that are separate professions with their own educational requirements, art therapy is the same. So yes, it is therapy. Yes, it's a mental health profession. And no, it is not those ink blot things, but I understand the confusion. Also on that one, if I had like $1 for every time the response when I was saying like art therapy, and they'd be like, oh, like those ink blot things? No, not quite, my friend. That's actually a completely different thing. It's a valid psychological assessment, but people have to be specifically trained to even administer those in sessions. And I am not one of those people. So no, it is not the same. So recap. Yeah, it is a mental health profession. You use art every session. The therapist is a therapist. I get that question too. Am I a real therapist? Yeah, I am. I had to have just as many counseling, master level counseling classes as any other talk therapist. And I actually had to have more to be an art therapist. And we'll get to that in a second. Seeing an art therapist is just a different way to go about your healing journey. Just like there's all these other healing practitioners and therapists that you would go to help you along your journey. Art therapist is just one of those people, and this is a great explanation. It's like a mixture of the spiritual, holistic side of things and Western medicine kind of like coexisting to a nice little, it's a beautiful bridge between the worlds of science and spirit. So that's fucking facts right there. And so if that is you and you're wanting like a mixture of both or the best of both worlds, go see an art therapist or a music therapist or a dance therapist. Those are your people. Okay, next point on my list. In order to become an art therapist, it requires specific education and training, which enables a person to ethically call themselves an art therapist and practice within the mental health profession. In order to ethically call yourself an art therapist or say that you provide art therapy as a service, you need to accomplish 3 major things. First, a person needs a bachelor's degree with specific undergraduate classes in fine arts and psychology. Second, a person needs a master's degree from an accredited art therapy and counseling program. Third, upon graduation, the new professional has to be in the process of completing a minimum of 1,000 direct patient contact hours while receiving at least 100 hours of supervision from a board-certified art therapist, an ATRBC. That third step is referred to the provisional or residential period, and the fresh graduate has achieved their ATRP credential, making them a provisional registered art therapist. So that allows them to practice under supervision. And once those three things are accomplished, the person can apply for a registered art therapist credential, their ATR, and then they can completely practice on their own. No supervision meetings, no nothing. You are a free bird. Those three things, though, are no simple task. It often takes around 8 to 10 years to complete all of the educational and training requirements. It takes grit, dedication, focus, and passion to become an art therapist. One of the main struggles, because there are many that an art therapist faces, is that art therapists often encounter other mental health professionals who have not acquired the appropriate education, yet say that they offer art therapy in their services. So if you are on Psychology Today, Simple Practice, or other search engines looking for a therapist, and they say that they offer art therapy, but they do not have ATRP, ATR, or ATRBC behind their name stating their credentials, they are not qualified. Working with art while holding the space for a patient in their most vulnerable moments is an intricate process. A person can easily cause harm when using art to work with trauma if they don't know what they're doing in a therapy setting, which goes against ethical principles, and professionals can be reported for doing so. What can you expect in an art therapy session? Well, every art therapist is different in the way that they work, but what you can expect is a mixture of creating and talking. An art therapist knows how to hold the space in silence if that's what you need in order to get into a flow state, or if you're having difficulty verbally talking about an issue. That's the beauty of art therapy. Words do not have to be spoken for deep processing to take place when creating. A variety of supplies will be available. The art therapist knows how to be mindful and not drastically pushing you out of your comfort zone when using certain mediums, and will always be able to guide you in how to use the supplies. Sometimes there will be specific directives in mind that the art therapist already has planned for you and to do in session. Other times they will listen to you, share your thoughts, and then from there, the art therapist will be able to think of a project idea on the spot to allow you to go deeper into what you were just sharing. Personally, that is my favorite way to do that. I kind of intuitively run my sessions, and it's more of like a person-centered approach, is that I am listening to you and how you're showing up today and what you are struggling with. And from there, I kind of get like an intuitive hit, like a little ping of like, right there, that feeling or that sentence or that specific situation that you just described. We need to create an art piece that helps you further dissect that issue or help you further go into the feelings of that, because I can feel that you're stuck on it. And then we create something from that, more feelings based. So, I mean, essentially, I professionally wing it, but I'm trained to do such things. And for me, it can often go better compared to planning out directives. But like I said, everyone's different. The creation process, creating an art piece can take 5 minutes or it can take multiple sessions. It's really up to you on how fast you want to work. And it would depend on the type of art piece or project that you're also making. Sometimes you just need to quickly do something to get your burst of feelings out. Other times we will sit and kind of figure out a project to make together to deeply dissect the issue. And sometimes that can take weeks of working on one thing. It's great. There's all different ways to go about it. Art therapy is quite flexible in its ability to be tailored to your unique needs. Healing also takes place in art therapy sessions when reflecting on the art that you just created. This is where the unconscious information becomes conscious. Then, through reflecting on the piece, it will give you the opportunity to integrate. What's wild is when you look back on old pieces, even more realizations will surface. You gain different perspectives, and then some things will just finally click. The work that you will accomplish in art therapy can put you in a constant state of evolution, which is the gift that keeps on giving, my friends. Well, there you have it. There's my brief explanation of what art therapy is. Throughout this podcast, I'll be talking more about it and go in depth on certain things of how it's helped me through the healing journey of certain traumas, feelings, repairing my nervous system. There's a lot that goes into it, but this is like the basics of understanding what the heck it actually is. So then when you listen to the other episodes that I produce, you understand a little bit what goes into it. And then it's not just making art. There's a lot of intention behind it. But thank you for listening to this episode. I hope that you found it helpful, that you feel safe in knowing the educational background of art therapists, and that it has fueled a fire within you to dive into your own healing journey through art therapy. And remember, when we see the light in ourselves, we create light in others.